Anyways, so I was saying that the reason for putting the false email in our email box is to make it look like an accident, to make it look like just mistaken identity. Oh, mistakes are made. We go to the wrong house sometimes, or oh, we'll put our key in the wrong screen door sometimes. Oh, no, I do not believe that. I do not accept it. I've lived here for 3 years now, and they don't make mistakes like that. There's constant motion in and out of his unit to try and make it look like, to try and cover his behavior and cover his activities. It's all misdirection. It's all intended to distract. They increase flow, and then they attack a unit, and then nobody thinks anything about it. So this email again provided deniability for previous attacks on our unit, mistaken identity. Also, if I talk about it in the YouTube videos, because they know, like I said, they know I'm doing YouTube videos, I look like an idiot, and it discredits my name. It defames me. It makes me look like a quack. But the fact of the matter is these techniques that they're using, even though they're minor, and even though it's just an incorrectly addressed letter, it's these tactics are used all the time in other areas: misdirection, covering up, providing deniability, and usually the simplest way, a letter that went to the wrong mailbox by accident is the most effective. It's pretty hard to prove that they purposely posted the letter incorrectly and put it in my mailbox to cause problems and to cover up. So the other, a secondary benefit that they would get from doing this is my reaction. I would likely get angry, and I would likely react in a way that they would benefit from if they recorded. Then they could say, look how angry he is. Look at how he responded with something so little as an email or a letter in his email. Okay, so there's a few things about this. Firstly, the letter did not go through the Australian post. The letter was a prepaid envelope and had no postage markings on it. So it didn't go through the postage service, and it wasn't delivered by a post person. It was delivered by someone who knew him, who wanted to give it to him. So if you were there at the mailbox, why didn't you just come into his unit and give it to him? He was here all day, and this entire building is filled with students that could have grabbed the letter and given it to him. All of them. 11 units out of the 19 units house Moore Theological Bible students. And the other building right over there is completely filled with Moore Theological Bible students. And the other building right over there, 122, is completely filled with Moore Theological Bible students. So don't tell me that you accidentally gave his letter to my mailbox, when you know for a fact that my mailbox belongs to my unit with that number on it, and none of you people have it like me. Everybody here knows that I don't like anyone here, that I don't want to talk to anyone here, that I'm fed up with these attacks. I think these people are terrorists. They act like terrorists. They move like terrorists. They cooperate like terrorists. They attack your machines and destroy your property with no regard for what's right and what's wrong. They think they're above the law. And when you report them, nothing happens because they're so well connected with the government. I don't want to have anything to do with them. They know what this unit is. They know the history. They know who I am. It's not accidental that they put my number on the letter. But like what's happening right now is I make a comment about it, and then they go, why are you getting so mad? Oh, you're so angry. You're such an angry person. Oh, you're so mad. Why are you getting so mad? It was just a mistake. It was just a mistake. Right, mate. It was just a mistake. It was just a mistake in posting letter. It's not intentional, mate. It's not intentional. What are you going on about? What are you going on about? What are you going unhinged? You're going unhinged. That's the response that they'll give. Now, the fact of the matter is, I said earlier on that they wanted to cover up behavior that they committed before. One day when I was upstairs, and they've been to our unit lots of times they've knocked on our unit, pinged on our unit, thrown crap at our unit, thrown stuff at our windows, spat at our windows, lots of things. One day when I was trying to play violin, it's very loud, and they know this. So they took the opportunity to try and figure out the keys. See, what happened was there was construction on this building, and all the locks for all the doors were changed. And the screen door locks were changed as well. And so these people came along and were at my unit And I saw one guy go, yeah, this is it. And a female comes up and starts trying all these different keys in my screen door, trying all these different keys nervously. I banged on the door, on the window real loud, and caught his attention. And he goes, oh, stop. And then she went nervously away, and she didn't want to look at me. And he went to the other building, or to the other unit. So I go down, and I says to the guy, I says, what the heck you doing? Way up. Oh, just a mistake, mate. We're trying to come. I'm not going to try the Australian accent. Not going to. We're supposed to come and feed the cat in this unit. Firstly, the guy knew where that unit was because he's been there before. I saw him pass me at nighttime in the dark. He passed me and he went to that unit, and he knew who I was because he recognized me when he looked at me, and he recognized my unit. I could tell. You can just tell when somebody recognizes you. He had an attitude. A lot of these guys have attitudes with me, a contemptuous attitude, a hateful attitude, because of what I represent. I don't know. Because I'm calling them criminals? Maybe. But it's contemptuous and it's hateful. And he had that attitude towards me. And I kind of don't care because there's no love lost. I feel no love for these people at all. They're criminals. They're horrible people. They're the worst people I've ever met. Why would I love that? He went to her unit. He knew where it was. And yet here he is standing in front of my unit directing a female to put the keys in. Yeah, this is it. I'm sure this is the unit. He knew it wasn't her unit. The new girl that moved in there that was supposed to be gone to have her cats fed is supposed to not be involved with the Anglican Church. I don't believe for a second. I think the whole thing was set up so that they could come to my screen door while I was playing the violin, and I wouldn't hear it. I wouldn't hear the clamoring at the door, and putting all these different keys in to see if they could find the correct screen door key. And she had a whole slew of keys. She had a whole keychain. She had a whole keychain. And she was like, try one, flick it, try another, flick it, try one. And you could see she was nervous and panicking, trying to find the one that fit, which makes me think, obviously, then they've got keys cut. And obviously, they've got spare keys for this screen door. And they probably got spare keys for the lock as well. So they've got keys to get in our unit. So the girl, when I banged on the door, got really nervous and ran away. And then the guy got, kind of whatever, and went back. And the entire time, the guy stood far away from our door in direct line of sight from the other building, the other Anglican building. So if I had come out and got angry and popped him and dropped him, there would have been a lot of people that would have seen it from the other building over there because he was in direct line. So this is what they do. They attack you and leave you defenseless because if you do something to defend yourself, you can't, you'll get in trouble. They'll call you violent or aggressive, or they'll say you're this or you're that, and they'll catch you with witnesses and you're stuffed. Get out of here, or you'll be arrested or whatever. The fact is they came to our door. They came to our screen door. So this letter is like kind of tries to cover that up. It tries to cover up the fact that, oh, we just made an accidental mistake. BS. You knew what unit you were supposed to go to. There were several units around here with numbers on the windows. All you had to do was look at the numbers and then count, and you would have been able to find the unit. As soon as I called, they went directly to the other unit. They didn't go looking. They weren't asking questions. Boom, they went directly to the other unit. Now, how come they didn't do that to begin with? As soon as I knocked on the door and said, buck off, cuff off, you dumb morons. What are you doing? They went directly to the unit. They weren't looking. They knew where it was. They wanted to come to our unit, try their keys in our screen door and see if they could get the right key, then mark it, and then they'd know this is the key for his door. The fact of the matter is they've been coming in our unit since we moved here, and they don't want to stop coming in our unit. They want to keep coming in our unit because they have to justify breaking into our computers and breaking into our phones. They have to justify access to equipment, and so they have to make it so that they can come into the unit, because they're accessing our electronic equipment. Everything here is deniability. Everything here is setting up situations where they can be plausible deniability to justify the activity. They're breaking into our computers. Well, someone obviously comes into the house to do that, Chris. There's no way they could do it unless they access your computers. And then they cover up the fact that they have this secret technology that is very, very dangerous, and they don't want to let the secret out. So this letter came to our mailbox, and it may seem very small and trivial, but it is very significant, and it covers many of their tactics. They covered plausible deniability, mistakes are made, mistaken identities, incorrect addresses, and then it also, number two, hopefully it will get a reaction from me, and I'll be aggressive and I'll confront him, and they'll publicly see that, and then they'll publicly be able to see, yeah, he's dangerous. And number three, it ruins my credibility, because paying attention to something such a silly thing seems to an outsider as a really incredulous, really, really silly thing to do. Unbelievable. But if you were in this situation and you saw what they're like, and you've had experience in the history that I've had here, you would understand how manipulative they are, and how this is just another manipulation for them. And they do this stuff all the time. I think that these things go unnoticed because they're very powerful and nobody wants to notice them. And also because they're very, very careful, and they're very, very cautious, and they don't get caught. So this is just another example of manipulation, of social engineering, of social manipulation that they do. And the reason that they sent the letter falsely, they knew exactly where the right address was. They purposely put it in my mailbox. They purposely forgot to or neglected to put it through the postal service. If they had put it through the postal service, I could go to the postal service and say, who mailed this? It was mailed around this time. Can I find out? Do you have cameras? But because it was just dropped in my mailbox, there's no record of the letter, and it didn't go through the post office. It just went through my mailbox, into my mailbox, and it was delivered to him. And I know for a fact, he knows for a fact. I've told him twice now, don't talk to me. I know what you're doing. You're a criminal. I've told all his friends, he's a criminal. Why are you friends with him? I've told there's a historical figure that lives in this building, and a very famous person in Australia, and I've told that person that this James Foolfley is a criminal, and that he's broken into our home, and he's broken into our computers. Nobody cares. Nobody believes it. So you see, little things like this are details that can't be overlooked. Little details like this, like misdirected letters put in the wrong mailboxes, sometimes have much more significance and much more meaning than is apparent at first sight. And when dealing with people, when dealing with terrorists, these are Christian terrorists. They use terrorist tactics. They call themselves Christians. They fly under the Christian flag. But these people use these tactics to provide deniability, to cover up their tracks, to make other people look twitchy, to make other people look unbalanced, and also if they get away with it, they up the bar. If they get away with it and you don't say nothing, they up the bar, and they do something else, and they do something else, and they build on the attack. It's like different levels, and they build on the attack. You can't let anything go unnoticed with these people, because everything is manipulated. Nothing is accidental. That wasn't an accidental thing that happened. It was not an accident that that letter got put in our mailbox. It was intentional. It was intended to create a situation, and it was intended to provoke a response, and it was intended to cover up past activities around this unit that they're guilty for. And essentially, it was just a mistake. It was just a common mistake. Mistakes happen. No, I don't think so. And there's too much evidence to point otherwise. It was intentional. A lot of these things these people do is intentional. These people are corrupt. These people are wicked-hearted, evil, and they're liars. And for every one lie they tell, they've got to tell 10 more to cover it up. The problem is they collaborate. Everybody helps each other. Everybody, all these bastards stick together, and they all help themselves, all in the name of Jesus. All in the name of fighting the Muslim terrorists. It's ridiculous. It has to stop. Because a lot of people are going to be hurt by these people if the world doesn't wake up to this technology that they have, and if the world doesn't wake up to their insidious, evil character. They are not nice people. They call themselves Christians, but they don't know anything about Christ, and they don't follow Christ. Jesus would never do what these people do.